Hi everyone, today's the 14th of June 2025. So I'm going to update you all with my court case and keeping my evidence in the moment. Keep in mind that I'm being glued, locked out while people are secretly stealing. It's illegal in any generation, but I'm going to keep with it. So I'm going to update you today with the IPCA and the New Zealand Police court case and just share within the moment the administration communication with IPCA case officer in my cases, and also recently I've gone through quite a bit of a change, and I've had to lodge some complaints also with the police and with the corporate body involving what I'm going through. I've itemized the incidents, clear case of hostage taking, cybercrime, and people using their job or using me for relationship scam, and numerous other serious culpable offences. So I'll keep you guys in the moment. So today we're going to be talking about IPCA court hearing and just letting everyone know an update from my last clip, continuation of where we're at as far as my court cases are concerned. Okay guys, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Minna Creighton. I'm the narrator of this video clip. So I will continue and try and keep this video clip quite short. I just wanted to update everybody of my recent movement. Obviously, we all know that we've got a court case that's global. I've had to do that just because I've needed it is a public interest court case, and it is a global Commonwealth illegal games on innocent civilians without their knowledge or consent. So I'm gonna, for safety reasons, I've had to do this, and for real intervention, and also just to update everybody about the massive changes that we're all going through with the government and the use of the government systems as far as protecting our property rights and using the courts, and where unfortunately the police do not intervene like they used to. They are reliant on monitoring and surveillance. Unfortunately, that is not a public safety system. However, I've gone through it, and I'm just sharing my experiences and keep the evidence in the moment, and to help everyone, and also keeping my case global and public. Okay, so we're dealing with corporate offences. In my case, historically, I have used the system. I've used, you name it, I've gone through it historically. So my case is a clear case of a very serious malfunction of a ecosystem. They call it ecosystem because there's a middleman in between. So my case is clearly reveals that there are several perpetrators in between. So we're dealing with in between perpetrators, retrieving information, and then what they're actually doing, these people in the middle. They want to kind of like scan or read everything, like going through some kind of a process before it actually goes to the hierarchy route. That is my experience, and that is illegal. All right, this is where people are they're cheating in the court cases. They are deleting evidence in between, they're sabotaging people's liberty, people's property. So that is the reason why unlawful strikes have taken place, and I'm contesting that. But I will just keep the evidence in the moment. And I've had to just continuously go with the system, put in and lodge complaints as things happen. It's really serious. Really, really serious case of international. Just one moment. I'll just draft up the laws, because I like to actually look at the laws while I'm talking to you. Okay, so what I've been dealing with historically and now can actually prove in my criminal court case or profile that I've been subject to international crimes and International Criminal Court Act. All these laws all come into place going back to 2010. So all these charges or all of these offences have definitely committed upon myself as an individual. Okay, so I'm just going to keep everyone up to date, but in hindsight, the reality is my court case definitely now is a crimes against humanity because of the historical pattern, the misuse of devices, global espionage, different secret societies taking turn invading. So there's definitely home invasion. We're talking about every single law in that exists has broken in my case. So I'll just update you guys as in the moment, because I know I've got everyone's attention. But yeah, just from personal experience, this should not be happening, but it is happening, and I know that a lot of people are feeling really unsafe, and we're not feeling like that for no reason. If you're feeling unsafe, it's because it is unsafe at this point of time for everybody. But I'll just continue and update you guys as far as my court case is concerned. I've heard from the courts, and there's a lot of legal administration in regards to how the court is handling my case. It's illegal what they're doing. They are cheating. They're listening to everything I'm doing, and then they're making decisions. It's organised crime, okay, but they are glued to me. And for those who have been watching me, I've been exposing them also when they are breaking the law using the government jobs, like, in the inciting on government, using their jobs in government, and some of those clips articulates that, but that's because I didn't realize what I was going through until I actually realized myself the reality of what they're doing. But that also explains the hostile attacks in my personal space. It is very unsafe. Very, very unsafe. So you always have to be in the moment, stay alert, because they are coding people, and that's what they've done to me. So the opposing allies is glued to you like a twin. Okay, as you know, we got a hearing at the moment with the IPCA. So that's for those that don't know what it is. I've had the New Zealand police case done, and I didn't agree with what the judge wrote, and so I'm contesting that. And they actually joined forces with all the other unlawful strikes. As we know, my case has been going on for nearly 9 years, maybe 10, going on to 10. So that's very long. That's unnecessary, but it is within my right to challenge everything they've done to me. Unlawful strikes, for those that don't know what it is fraud. Okay, it's a case where an individual like myself has been used for money laundering purposes or illegal Commonwealth games, with different people have taken turns using me. So the robot system is illegal. Okay, so no one has that right to turn somebody's life into some kind of a robot and then, gain benefits out of it and then make them suffer personally. It's very personal. It's a personal kind of a game, and to the point where the victims can end up feeling discouraged, or depression, or you can end up feeling like committing suicide. It's very dangerous. But if you read your circumstances correctly or know things in advance, it kind of changes everything. So that's why I felt to share my story, what I'm going through in the moment. So as you can see, that I've been sent out an email from the case officer, okay, and just as a reminder, I remember the last video clip, the the IPCA did not have a statement of claim. They were due according to the law, because that's what everyone has to abide to the law, even the judiciary. So what actually happens is the laws that actually audits us, or audits everybody. So I'm just having a look on my calendar for IPCA. Their 25 working days to actually put in a statement of claim, as a defence, passed on the 5th of June. However, they didn't make it. Okay, so I got an email of confirmation from the Crown's just to let me know, and just to confirm with me that it is an acknowledgement of all my emails, that they've actually been served, they've read my emails. So when that actually happens, the next stage of the cases is it clearly shows that they didn't put in a statement of defence, so they've passed that date, meaning they've got no defence. Okay, so the other thing I have found absolutely inhumane, and I hate them for this, okay, that's a very strong word to say, but their intimate gluing to me is so intimate. It's so intimate, and it's illegal. Okay, this is how they're able to make advance decisions. That's why with every ounce of my being, I am going to prosecute them and write this out and just go with it. But it is so intimate, and the abuse is so intimate. They get people there, they're actually playing with my emotions, and they're getting a kick, they're getting a fetish, what do you call it? They're actually enjoying it. It's a sadist. It's called a sadist. It's actually an evil sadist spirit of pure cruelty on an individual. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm used to all this, and I've contested it. I'm doing everything correctly, but whoever's behind it will go to prison, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, or for the sake of everyone else, so they can read their set of circumstances correctly. But it is so intimate that anything positive, they automatically do it negative. No matter how right you are, you can be motivated and moved by integrity, do everything right. And they know I'm a woman of integrity. They know that my ideas is money. So what they're secretly doing, these people, they're actually stealing. Okay? So it's a trafficking in persons. It's 100% illegal. And then they're deviating the energy to somebody else and stealing anything monetary. This also involves tax evasion. Okay? So every New Zealand citizen are entitled to some amount of tax, and if you go on a benefit, that is your legal right. It belongs to every single citizen in New Zealand, whether you are an immigrant, whether you are New Zealand born, whether you're old, whether you're young. So according to the laws, every single citizen is entitled to some form of government help, especially when you've been working for the government for years. You're entitled to superannuation. All that is law. Okay, so for those that don't know, when you reach retirement age, you're entitled to all those benefits. Okay, but what I have found that these people who have done this to me historically have actually used me for those kind of things, tax evasion, not only stealing my intellectual property to educate themselves. I mean, if you're intelligent, you don't need to cheat, of course, right? Yeah, right. But this system, they are cheating and they are stealing. So a lot of my videos have been done out of pain. Okay, they know the person is suffering, but they're getting a kick out of it. And then to go out and then suffer the humiliation, public humiliation, the public abuse, the threats by gangs riding their motorcycles, or psychological everything. That's an abuse. That is an abuse. Okay, so but however, I'm going to go with this, okay, and I'm going to continue on with my court case and update you. So at this point in time, okay, so this is the case officer. She sent out an email, and she's put, at first I thought, New Zealand Police, she sent out a data hearing, obviously, because what I have found is these case officers, that they're sending out emails, blah, 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 using different people all the time, but for the amount of money that they make, their mistakes are not excusable as far as according to what I've done. Okay, so what I'm saying is everything's intentional, making the ministry or the courts, or this case and handling, there's a lot of very serious penalties. Okay, they're not like, sometimes I can understand people are brand new, but when the mistakes is continuous, and it's continuous, and it's continuous, and it's continuous, I'm sorry, it ends up being a criminal case. So that is where I'm at. So IPCA, let me just see, hold on a moment. Okay, as I was saying, IPCA's 25 working days was actually over on the 5th, according to the calendar. Okay, that's the law. Okay, and the reality is, it doesn't matter who you are, the law applies to everybody. That's why trading in influence is illegal. So what's happened is, this here is from IPCA acknowledging on the, that they've received my documents. So I like to talk like, my word against them. So I like to talk with evidence. But here she sent me an email to acknowledge the receipt of documents and no statement of defense. So I'm thinking, great, they've got no defense, which means I actually win. Because, you can't really have a court case without a defense. So the option is, according to the law in the civil jurisdiction, is Crown, or the opposing party, in this case it's Crown for IPCA, has two options. They either want to settle before the hearing date, or they can go through the hearing date. Now, keeping in mind the case is in the criminal jurisdiction, it's actually in the civil jurisdiction. It doesn't actually belong in the civil jurisdiction. It actually belongs in the criminal jurisdiction, because the civil jurisdiction is for civil judges. Criminal jurisdiction is for the criminal judges. And why? Because both jurisdiction is completely different, meaning a civil judge will not have the same capacity to understand a criminal case as a criminal judge or a criminal barrister would. This is the same for the Crown civil barrister. Okay, so for those that don't know, criminal always override civil. Whether I live or die, they will get prosecuted. So because they didn't, obviously it's civil, and I do know my stuff, so I did always let them know that it's criminal and what it should do according to the law. And then they had their opposition. Unfortunately, they are all trading in influence under competition. But now they all look like a bunch of bullies over one single person who's actually their victim. Okay, and you can tell by some of my videos, sometimes I'm talking in pain or upset or emotionally upset because I am the aggrieved victim. Okay, these people, it's just gone too far. Okay. So What I'm actually dealing with is I'm on a black market and I'm blacklisted. I get so frustrated because I know everybody, even the bus drivers, they're coding me. It's a global game. I'm a product. Okay. There is no safety in it at all. I'm used to living like what I have, but it shouldn't be happening, okay? So when you feel like that, it means you're exploited, and you just got to be extra careful. Okay, so what we're dealing with is unlawful strikes. Okay, so what I'm dealing with is it's a cover-up. We're talking about one court case, one person, and nothing has been resolved. There's lots of unresolved issues. I've actually exhausted the system. Okay, it's a clear case of blacklisting and black market, where other people are using me for money laundering. Okay, so what actually happens here, there is no, the Crown has no defense, okay? It was Judge Sassock, is the one who actually gave the instructions. But when this email was sent to me on the June of the 11th, because I have found that the government system, they're playing a mockery, okay? They're playing a mockery on my feelings. They're abusing me. They know I've won, and they're just secretly abusing me, secretly making mistakes. And at the same time, I'm getting persecuted in my home when I was living in my apartment. I've just recently put in a complaint with the police and Work and Income in relation to what I'm going through, but it is, just one moment. Okay, guys, so this comes into place in my case, okay? This is the New Age system under the law of the legislation of the Criminal Procedure Act 2011, okay? So what we're dealing with here, in my case, is definitely this Terrorism Suppression Act 2002, okay? So the incidents that has been occurring to me, I've just lodged it with the police this week and with Work and Income, okay? And nothing new. The other thing I find really kind of like weird, or not good actually, so this here comes in definitely in my case, okay? It's under this legislation, that's what it is, but it is definitely acts of terrorism. Okay, there's credible threats. They're in my space, they're micromanaging, they're lying to me, they're pretending or using their job to interrogate me when it's none of their business. And this is where the corporate bodies are going to be audited in regards to my privacy of what they've done. So that's why I put my case together, and I went and lodged it with the New Zealand police this week. And I've never had this happen, but they didn't even give me the lady that served me. They already knew who I was, but she refused to give me even her first name. I find that quite funny. So instead she gave me her ID. I didn't want to argue, I just said, okay, then, and I just took down her ID number, and then I just wrote a description of her, that she's a European, blonde, brown, mousy hair with a bit of colour in it. I was just telling my family, and they thought it was funny, but I think it was just so stupid, to be totally honest. I mean, these people are getting paid taxpayers' money to protect the public, not protect themselves. That's not why they're there for. So that is my experience this week. So the lady gave me an exchange. I had to ask her the process, what happens. She didn't really seem to know, or didn't want to tell me. This is why I get frustrated, as you can tell anybody would, is that they have their online site. What I have found, they've intimately and personally persecuted me while I'm by myself. Then they tell you on the phone, they either hang up or tell you to go online. Then you do what they say. You can't even get an email to even put the complaint in online, let alone they never investigate or come back to you with it. Okay, so, and this has been going on since 2010. So that's why I typed out all the incidents, I itemized the events, the dates, and then I got an incident number and I lodged an official complaint with the New Zealand Police, and then I also lodged it with the work and income. And I might do another video clip on that, because I doubt it very much they're going to investigate. But I just took down the incident number and go with it. Okay, so this is actually really appalling, a real appalling system. It's disgusting, and it really needs to be destroyed. It needs to be taken down. I think the best answer would be to take away the call centres and the hub desks and put everything back like they used to be. Okay, whoever created the system is just all about money. Okay, they don't care about the public, the civilians, and then the people that I'm actually talking to, I feel like I am educating them. It doesn't. I mean, I don't know. They don't seem to know anything. And yes, I have also found that they're either carrying out somebody else's intention, or they're making up their own laws. That is my personal experience. So I got this email from this person. All right. So at this point in time, IPCA has no. They have no, no defense. Okay. The other thing I have found so unfair for me, and I didn't realize this until much years later, I didn't really click on till a few years later. I was like, oh my gosh, they're actually playing games with my life. Our government playing games with my life. That is so not, but it also explains to me in the moment of the Holocaust, like all the things that I've gone through, it is because of what they're doing. I just put this up this morning. As you all know, I'm a Christian. Okay, so we remember in Moses' day there was no such thing as technology. But this system, it takes people away from their own thinking. But yeah, so I've been putting up, I can actually interpret some of the things our government is doing. They're actually fighting for each other because they know I've won the case, okay? They don't want to compensate me. I mean, it's such an unfair battle. They're abusing me secretly too, and they're treating me invisible, taking away my rights, and then they're actually taking everything about me secretly too, or publicly, and I'm coded. I can tell by the way they're talking. I know they're talking about me, and that's unfair. But that explains why I'm going through what I'm going through. And obviously it's because they're all fighting for their jobs, or they're sticking up for, people that have actually broken the law, and the relationship scams all come into place for this. So if I put things up on my Facebook, it's because I'm exposing them, and hopefully everyone will get a clue of what they're saying. I just think they're a bunch of hypocrites. Okay, they're not actually in our government to actually, decide whether somebody should live or die. I don't care about other people's belief. That has nothing to do with me. So that is what I'm opposing, and I think everyone's woken up to it. This here, I've put up posters like, they hate me. Okay, I'm talking about a discrimination, a government system of people that have committed perjury. Right? People, we're talking about people when I was working with the government who've actually committed perjury. It will just reminder of everyone with that. Just one moment. Okay, guys. So we're talking about the administration affecting the crimes against, we're talking about bribery and corruption. We're talking about crimes affecting the administration of law and justice. Okay, the laws are black and white. All right, that's why they don't like people like myself, because we're very black and white when it comes to the law. And in fact, those in government, they get the harsher penalty. They are removed, and then they get the harsh penalty for perverting the course of justice, you name it. Okay, Who cares if you've made a mistake? If you have participated and intentionally use your job to sabotage someone just because you're biased or prejudiced or because of your personal belief, that is not my problem. That does not come into play. All right. So that is why I'm doing what I'm doing. But it is definitely perjury. That is what you call miscarriage of justice. Okay, I know a lot of people have interpreted as miscarriage of justice in regards to something else. It is not. Well, yes, it is. It varies. It depends. It's a case-by-case basis, and no case is exactly the same. My case is definitely miscarriage of justice, meaning that people were internally, historically, in my government at that point of time of those incidents made wrong decisions, and because of their wrong decisions, there has been murder, there has been loss of lives, there have people disappear, you name it, and me also fighting for my life secretly. Okay, so that is where my case is at, globally, legally, and the only people that can only understand me is a criminal judge or a criminal barrister. Okay, you will find a criminal judge will never play games with a person's liberty. You will find most of them, what they write is accurate and honest, because they know the laws will backfire. So this is why, as far as the civil barristers and civil judges, they do not have the same capacity to understand anything to do with criminal. But I have continuously told them to move it to criminal, but they haven't. And I don't know, they may think that I'm safe in that, but I have, they've made me suffer. The persecution has not stopped. People keep stealing, keep trying to kill, public scrutiny is horrific, and it's global. So, this year, the coding, I know exactly who this person is. She was a court registrar at that point of time, or deputy registrar doing with my court cases. But, I don't know whether she knows that people are coding, but somebody is coding everyone. They're coding the defendants, they're coding the judges, they're coding the people that are working. And that is why that, if you're going to do what you're doing to me, we must all be in the same place and try and fight for our own life. But, that's, what I've gone through is just inhumane. But this is what the misuse of devices are doing. They're secretly coding. Gangs are definitely used. Okay, I've heard from somebody else rumor that the government have actually paid gangs to follow people or work on their behalf. I mean, that is pathetic. That should not even happen. Okay, you either are in the government, with the constitution of integrity, but not be in the same boat with the gangs. Okay, that is what they've done to me historically. So I'm just going to go with it and leave the rest to God. So that is what I've been going through. People are using, their jobs, to try and kill one innocent person. Okay, it's very serious. They call it a democracy, and I have not found it funny what they're doing secretly to me. Okay, so I'm just gonna denounce all that to the same. I'm gonna finish with this soon. There has been video clips. Just hold on a moment. I might as well do it while I'm on it. Okay, this has been floating around social media still with Natty Visciso and her imposter Henry Cavill. I can confirm that this is a scam. She's fake, and the reason why I have to keep what I'm going through in the moment because of my relationship with the original Henry Cavill. Okay, I am still talking to him. We're still communicating and all the rest of it. And both of our lives, we are the original. And we both have the intention to actually press criminal charges on Natalie and all these people that are deceiving the public. All right. So whether we both don't make it or not, I know that what I'm doing is going to happen regardless. Okay. So I'm denouncing Natalie Visciso and her crap. All right. It's all linked to the government because they're all inciting, and everyone linking to her can all be done because it's a conspiracy. All right. Just hold on a moment. Okay, a part of the game that I've gone through is that they are using people's family, and there's this guy, little boy that looks like Natalie's, Henry's nephew. It's not Henry's nephew. Henry's family doesn't even know the things he's going through. We're both very similar way of thinking. Our families can do whatever they want, but we're both individuals and we know exactly what we want, and we're not the type of people that will do things just to please people. We don't play games, and we are definitely not into getting members of our family or whoever to force their beliefs on us, or who we end up with, whatever, because that's a private matter. It's actually nobody's business. But what the government has done, or the public innuendo where they're actually deceiving the public with lies, they are using this Natalie Visciso system where they're actually lying to the public. Obviously, it's going to stop with me and Henry, whichever way this goes. I'm denouncing all that and all the research. I've seen the videos floating around, and I try to ignore it, but I know it is deceiving people, and that includes the Amy Denton crap. All right. I know you're all linked to it, to the government. It's quite obvious. I've been exposing the video clips for the FBI, or for those who are actually investigating my case, so everyone can actually see what's going on. But criminal offences done indirectly or directly in your acts, if it's linked to a conspiracy crime like what I've gone through, it's a crime, guys. All right. I can't even believe it exists, but that is the reality of our new court system and our government system. Okay, so you all know there's a hearing set date officially. I will update you all. The judges actually made it a 5-day hearing. Okay, so which means I've got my work cut out for me. So we can summons people. If you can see here, time allocated 5 days. Okay, the IPCA has not given any self-defense. They've already passed the time. So we'll just go with it, and it's actually good because the evidence is exactly the same as the police evidence. Okay, so what I find really insulting with what they're doing is the government, the court registrar, or the different people using my case, playing games with me, or messing up my file, or, it's just been horrific. It's shocking. It's shocking what they're doing. So this here was the minute of Judge Sussex on the 4th of June 2025. This here is the IPCA KJ Ferris. They are inciting my cases or to each other the way they're staging it in government. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, so everyone can be all on the same boat and save their life. And they are actually even inciting to kill. Okay? That's very easy for me to prove as a criminal person that knows how things work and how to do it. Okay. So this here was the minute of Judge Sussex on the 4th, where the judge actually wrote down that they've got to write a defense because they've already passed it. So I don't know, but the email that I received from this person here, they made me first. The timetable changed. So that's where we're at, guys. This is the legal administration, and it's going to be an interlocutory hearing. And just of recent, I've had to go to the police and complain about I've been having proxy hacking. So I've been having issues, people hacking my laptop, destroying or stealing my documents. This is all part of me being secretly sabotaged. I'm a female on my own, working hard and trying to get myself out of it, do everything correct. But the opposing allies, they are in my space, sabotaging and deleting and hacking and stealing my documents. This is consistent when I do go out. It's horrific, but I'm just going to go with it and I'll leave it at that. I'll keep you guys informed anyway. The court case is definitely real. I'm going through a few changes still. I've moved like I did on my last video clip, and I'll probably have to move again. It's just everything's been a lot for one single person, and I also suffer from high blood pressure. So what they've done to me, the things that they've done to me is dangerous, is intentional, it's cybercrime, and it is definitely acts of terrorism of somebody personally persecuting a person emotionally. Okay, I've had to deal with the emotional everything by myself, but this is my journey, and hopefully we'll see. We'll just go with it, but I'll keep everyone up to date. Okay, so the corporate bodies involving me, they've all used the hub desk to lie to me. Excuse me. They've just used the hub desk to interrogate, to update their information, to lie or give wrong direction, withholding. This is what the opposing allies are doing. The thing is, we don't know who it is. It's global. It's serious. It's dangerous. So I'll just go with it. But I think what they need to do is get rid of the hub desks altogether, because there is several. You're talking about global espionage. What's happened to me can happen to anybody. Okay, so this is what they're doing. They're pinning me down. They call it the robot system, and then they're stealing. But the advantage that I actually have, because it is a criminal case, there's definitely same patterns, same sequence, same abuse, same spirit, same evil spirit. Okay, it means that it is definitely body corporate comes now into liability, historically involving one single person, and it's already proven. Okay, so I don't think they can contest it. Okay, and which means the corporate body is now liable for conspiracy crimes involving my one person, myself. Okay, because it's intentional. All right, I'll leave it at that, guys.